Hello there, welcome to another video by me, Mr. Drone. You'll see right behind me is the Liver building right there. Really iconic building in Liverpool on the pier head. One of the free graces down in Liverpool. I'm here today because I found out that you can actually do a tour of the Liver building. I didn't know this, and on that note I found that you can do tours of a lot of different things. So I'm going to do the tour of the Liver building today. We're going to get in there, have a nice walk around, a lovely tour, film as much of it as we can, take as many shots as we can, as well as sharing some nice drone footage and facts and history about this lovely building there. There she is, the Liver building. So we'll get in there now, have a nice walk around. Let's go and take a look. Right, we're just heading in now, going to get in. There's one thing I was meant to say at the beginning of the intro. I was always told that there was like a war room underneath the Liver buildings where they planned a lot of the manoeuvres to do with World War I or II. I don't know if that's true. Has anybody else heard that, and is it true? But anyway, we're going to get in now and have a look and see if we can find out. Let's get in there.
However, that name didn't stick around for much longer, as by 1856 they had become the Royal Liver Friendly Society, and that's the name they stuck with for the rest of their time as a group, keeping Liver in there as a little homage to that Liver Inn pub where they had that first initial meeting. They were active for over 100 years up until 2011 when they officially disbanded, and they were basically the first form of a life insurance company. Each week or month, people paid into the society, and then upon their death, the society paid out, allowing for these more dignified burials to begin happening for the working class at that time. As a group, they would meet each year for their annual conference, and in 1907 they met in Dublin. With over 6,000 employees amassed, they decided to push for a bigger headquarters. Now luckily, this piece of land had just become available to them, and they were able to scoop it up, and in 1908 the construction was able to begin. It finished only 3 years later in 1911, which was incredibly fast, especially for the time and even more so for the size and height of this building. We think this quick construction mainly was because of the technique that was used, as it was brand new to the UK at the time. It was brought to us by the architect. His name was Walter Aubrey Thomas, and he was from just across the water over on the Wirral. His inspiration mainly came from America, as at that time they also had a lot of new buildings going up, and one in particular that caught his eye was the Ingalls building in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's because it was the first building in the world to use this new construction method known as the Hennebeek principle. Now that just comes down to reinforced concrete. So for our building here, we have a steel skeleton frame with concrete poured over the top, and then to armour the building on top of everything is the granite cladding. Our building was technically the first skyscraper the UK saw, standing at 322 feet, and remained as the only one till about the 60s. After that, other ones started to pop up around the country. However, even today, we are still Liverpool's 5th tallest building. If we fast forward slightly into more modern years, in 2016 the building was bought out by an investment group, and they now rent out the office spaces generally to wealthier businesses in the area. Things like HSBC, ITV Granada, USS. We also have Everton FC putting their accountants out of the offices. Apologies to any Reds you have with us today. And then we're also used for a lot of filming and TV shoots. So we had the Batman filming here in recent years with Robert Pattinson. They filmed on top of the clock tower for that shot of him jumping off the top of the building into Gotham City. It's not quite an experience. We've got an art tour here today, so luckily we'll be using the stairs. But does anyone have any questions for me before we go around? You can get an idea of what that would have looked like during each stage. The photos do a really good job of showing off the lack of health and safety on these construction sites back then. It's another big reason it went up so fast, to be honest, was that no health and safety. And then it leads all the way through here to the opening ceremony photo at the end. Now, with that health and safety being so minimal, one of the questions we typically get asked is about the death count for the construction site during the time. Officially, the death count was 0. However, that was a big fat lie. Now, we know of 6 names that got to the papers before that count got out, things like obituaries from people's families. However, it is likely thought that it was at least hundreds, if not thousands, of people who would have perished during the construction site. That's because there was about 3,000 to 6,000 people working each day on the site, so it was a heavily populated site. A lot of them would have been kind of migrants in from the ships from America or Ireland. A lot of them may not have had paperwork saying they were in the city, let alone working on a construction site. And it was pretty standard protocol back then for these things to be covered up. A lot of people theorised with it being a life insurance company, they didn't want it getting out for PR reasons. And it is also thought that if they weren't taken to nearby grave sites, it is a possibility they would have been buried within the foundations of the building as well. Now, obviously, I can't actually tell you that factually for one way or the other, and that is just what people have theorised over the years, but as I said, it was pretty standard to cover these things up back then. That's why health and safety took so long to come into effect. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much.
No worries. From this balcony over here, as you can see, we're having a little look across at the River Mersey and the Wirral. So the River Mersey itself spills in from the Irish Sea on the right-hand side, and it spans for 70 miles down towards the left until it reaches the Manchester Ship Canal at the other end. Before the docks got built on, our George clock faces are all the same. They all measure 25.5 feet in diameter. They are the largest electronically driven clock faces in the UK, which does mean they are in fact bigger than Big Ben here, which we do like bragging about on those tours. For a little bit more visualisation for how big that is, Jensen Co of Leicester, the company who made them, were obviously quite proud of the achievement. And in November of 1910, they decided to throw a gala dinner to celebrate British manufacturing. They invited about 40 civil dignitaries from all across the country, and as some of you may have seen in that corridor there, the table they used was actually one of the clock faces that was going to be put onto the side of the building.
Thank you. Oh, look at that. Right, so here we are, right at the top of the Liver building. You can see Liver bird there. Apparently that one's Bertie. The one right above me is Bella. Bertie looking out into the city. The guide said he's checking when the last pub's open or when the first pub opens. I've heard all sorts of different stories. I've heard the male faces inwards to protect the city whilst the female looks out to look for the sailors coming home. But yeah, I've heard all sorts. Just over the roof down there you can see there is a building. It's which way? It's down that area called Mersey. It was called Mersey Chambers when I knew it. That's got another Liver bird on it, what a lot of people don't know about. But yeah, I'll share some more facts on that another time. But luckily enough as well, whilst we're up here, the guide has just said that the chime is going to go off for quarter to 1. So we will keep rolling. Now we'll look over. We can see Liverpool Cathedral in the background. We'll keep rolling and wait for that chime to go off. You can also see the Albert Dock just behind me as well. It's a great tour. It's a great tour, and I'll tell you. Oh, yeah, that was loud. That was loud. Okay, yeah, you'd have seen me jump there. That was loud. Let's have that make you jump. It made me jump. I was filming at the time as well. Excuse me. Let's check out more views. Okay. Right, okay everybody, and that brings us to the end of the tour of the Liver buildings. Really good tour. Do you know what, only cheap as well, like £16 tour. The tour guide was fantastic, so thank you very much. I didn't get her name, she's too busy talking, you know, about the building, telling us all about it for me to go asking names and stuff like that. So anyway, she was really good though, she was really good. There was a part in the middle, an 8-minute video projected onto the back of the clock faces, which was really good to watch. It was a great video. I wouldn't share that. She asked me to turn my camera off anyway, but I wouldn't have shared it anyway. I just stuff like that, you know, it's not for me to show you on my video. It's go and enjoy it yourself, because it wouldn't have the same effect as well. It was like projected images showing the history of the building, going back from when it was built, and it goes right through the ages, kind of what the building's seen, including the war, the Blitz, sporting events. There was a tribute to Hillsborough. So it was really good, honestly. It was a really good tour. The views at the top, getting up there and taking those views, and there's the first stop. They take you straight up to the 10th floor. You stop there and get the views from the 10th floor, and I thought that was kind of it, to be honest. Then they take you up to the 14th, which is right on those clock towers, as you've seen, where that chime went off and scared me to death, to be honest, even though I was expecting it. It was very loud, as you'd have heard. So yeah, do you know what, guys, highly recommend that. And also you'd have seen some drone shots that I've shared as well. I didn't take them today, stuff I'd already had, but yeah, just really good tour, really interesting, lots to learn, and yeah, I would recommend it, highly recommend it, especially for the price. You're only there an hour, probably less than an hour as well. You know, you're there, but it's £16, can't go wrong. I'd highly recommend. I'll be doing lots more things like that in and around Liverpool and local area. Loads of tours coming up of different things, showing you what you can and can't do around here, and just sharing some things with you as well. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that button for me. Oh yes, by the way, what I mentioned at the beginning about the war room underneath the Liver buildings, I don't think that is true. It's somewhere else, which we'll get to and share probably next week. Okay, keep watching. Thanks very much. Please like, share, subscribe. Bye now.